What's going on, everybody? I want to welcome you back to Knicks Deli, baby. I'm your host here, and guess what, man? It's post-game. New York Knicks come out with a huge victory. Take that 3-1 lead against the Detroit Sad Boys. The Sad Boys. Sad Boys. Let's go. Let's flip and go. I told you. Okay? Yeah, I'm back. Pardon the hoodie. I know it's a little bit warm, but I just got from the gym, so I'm trying to milk all of the sweat and everything and make sure I'm good because I'm going to be ready for the summer. Damn it. But guess what, man? The New York Knicks, baby, are one step closer to wrapping this thing up and getting to the second round. And it couldn't have been any better of a game. I think the New York Knicks and the Detroit Pistons have the best series in the playoffs right now. And I think it's a lot to be said about them young boys on the other side. Every game is competitive. It's ebbs and flows. Heart attack Knicks are back, baby. New York Knicks fans of recent years, if you're looking at this type of style of game and play and you're blaming it on Tom Thibodeau, I got news for you. This is historically how your New York Knicks franchise has played. The 70s may be a bit different. They were more run and gun. I don't think there were as many real close games and up and down as it was in the 90s and as we are seeing this season. So, but the most important piece to that is coming away with the victory. That's the most important piece. And that's what your New York Knicks team did today. So I want to just give a shout out and a round of applause, man, to your New York Knicks. Yeah. So many pieces to this game, man, that stood out, man. One thing about this team that we know and that the Detroit Pistons know is that adversity doesn't bother us. Adversity does not bother us as a team, as players. You know, stars win these games. And that's the importance of the players that we were able to get. Knicks fans, we sit there and let everybody else criticize the fact that, you know, we may have a light bench or Tom Thibodeau is running with the starters more than he's running with, you know, stretching out the roster and giving playing time. Stars win games. Anybody can point at Brunson and talk about his injury. There's different players around the league who are getting injured. Okay, that's what happens when you play high-level basketball with high-level athletes. Injuries are going to happen. But Tom Thibodeau knows, he's been here so many years, been in the playoffs for so many years. He knows the level of mentality, the level of focus, and the level of determination that you need to have to win playoff games. If we had went to the bench, there could have been a missed possession, a missed backdoor, pass, and we would not be looking at a victory. This man collects victories. And if many of you fans who are very recent, who didn't quite hear the 90s, and I'm sure are tired of hearing us talk about the 90s, if we teleported you back into the 90s, you would be calling for Van Gundy's head. You would be calling for Pat Riley's head. Because he did the same thing. Tom Thibodeau has the DNA of Pat Riley and Jeff Van Gundy. He does. So get over it. We're going to address that in the off season. But this New York Knicks team is known for not being, you can't count them out. And it's so funny because in the third quarter, which was brutal. Look, I'm not saying Tom Thibodeau is absent of any, a blame or responsibility with some of the ebbs and flows. But you know what? That's why he's one of the few coaches that are in the league. Yeah, I mean, there's only 30 teams, so he has one of the rare jobs that you can get as a coach in this league. Okay, so it's going to be mistakes, it's going to be successes, just like all of us experience in our everyday jobs. Okay, but one thing you do know about a Tom Thibodeau team: never count him out. You can never count him out, and now you have shot makers on the team. You have shot makers on this team. I said you have shot makers on this team. Okay? And we saw that with Cap. Okay? And that's what happens, baby. And don't think that a team who lacks the experience that the Detroit Pistons do, they don't feel that pressure. That, oh, here we go again type of pressure when the game gets close and that lead begins to dwindle. And the big shots matter. Okay? With experience, they're going to be positioned to make those shots. Just not now. Just not now. We don't want that to be on us. All right. So the Knicks needed this win. Detroit fans are mad as hell right now. The Mad Boys, the Detroit Mad Boys, the Detroit Sad Boys, whatever we want to call them, that's what they are right now. The New York Knicks went in there and they did something that you really want to do, especially if you have a star that's hobbling. You don't want this to last any longer than it has to. And if you leave Detroit with one win, it's success. If you leave with 2 wins, then you are really assuring that you give an opportunity for your players to get some rest, even if it's for a day, even if it's for 2 days. To get rest in the treatment is the goal. And that's what we went in there and we did, and we took care of business. So I'm hyped. Without further ado, because, you know, Knicks Deli, we got some things to get to. So let me just get at it. I want to welcome you all. If you're here for the first time, welcome to Knicks Deli, baby. Welcome to Knicks Deli. Yes. Let me explain what Knicks Deli is. Here at Knicks Deli, everybody eats, but there's only 4 items on the menu. The first item on the menu is the bacon, egg, and cheese. That's right, I said it, the bacon, egg, and cheese. Everybody knows that New York has the best breakfast sandwich in the world. Yeah, that's right. And you can't say it in pieces. You got to say bacon, egg, and cheese. It's one thing, all right? But it's 3 components that make that sandwich special. So what we're going to do is talk about who are the 3 players that were special that helped us get this victory. Next item that's on the menu is the dollar slice. Everyone knows New York has the best pizza in the world. Don't you know that? And the pizza represents stability. It's a stabilizing dish that has really, kept America whole. All right, so we're going to look at who's the player, who's the stabilizing player that helped us get this victory. The third item on the menu is the chopped cheese. Chopped cheese is relatively new to that New York menu, but that thing be bussin'. So we're going to look at who's the chopped cheese of the game, whose relatively new contribution helped us get over the top. And lastly, you can't have the chopped cheese. You can't have the bacon, egg, and cheese. You can't have the dollar slice if you ain't got nothing to wash that thing down with. And here at Knicks Deli, we call that the quarter water of the game. That's right, the quarter water of the game. Who came in and contributed, whether it's in 1 quarter or a little bit in 3 quarters, helped us secure this victory and get over the top with a 3-1 lead. But finally, the good part of the menu is behind us. Sometimes you have guests in your house that you do not like. You don't want to give them good food, but you know what? You got to give them what's left on the menu. And because you don't like that guest, it's because they just won't shut up. You don't want to tell them to shut up because they're your guest. So you just give them something to eat that talks for you. And that is the glizzy of the game. Give them the glizzy. Hey, yo. Hey, yo is right. So who gets the glizzy of the game? Who says something out of their neck, something along the lines of the game that make you look at them sideways and be like, hey, yo, okay? Give them the gluck gluck 3000. There's enough of that, okay? And lastly, there's the nah son nah you wallet moment of the game. And that's something, whether it's a lead up conversation, very similarly, where you look at it and be like, nah son nah, you wildin'. And then we're gonna tie this thing up. Super excited. I know it's a lot of shows for you to watch. Any show in the world you could be watching, but you're rocking here with Sheer and Knicks Deli, baby. Knicks Deli edition. Let's get at it. Who is the bacon, egg, and cheese of the game? The bacon of the game, once again for the second straight game, baby, is our guy, Captain Crunch, the Brundertaker. Let's go. The Brundertaker had 32 points, 11 assists, 5 rebounds. Once again, showing heart. Once again, representing our team at the highest level with his play and with his example. Jalen Brunson, once again, is a superstar, and he's our superstar. And he represents New York the way New Yorkers represent, okay? Heart. nothing but heart, nothing but talent. All right. He did go down with an injury, an ankle injury earlier on, but once again, he plays through those things. He said when he first got here, I mean, if I'm not dead, I'm playing. If I'm not dead, I'm playing. And you love to see that. The Detroit Pistons, though, I'm not even going to lie to you. I made the video prior to this game. They're at the point now where they're like, we know New York has exceeded us in talent, in the talent compartment, and in the talent department as well. So we need to make this physical. We need to go in there and bang. Somebody might get nicked up, no pun intended, but that comes with the cost of playing against the Detroit Pistons. So we need to go in there and get even more physical with the New York Knicks. And let me tell you this much: the referees have been allowing that, but the Knicks keep their head, they keep their zen, but it doesn't take away from the Detroit Pistons doing whatever they can to try to make sure the Knicks aren't 100% healthy, and to try to use that to turn the series around. What they don't really take into consideration is the heart of the champion, the heart of a champion. And you know what? Jalen Brunson comes with that level of heart. So he came back into the game and he went to work, as he does, to the tune of 32 points. 11 assists and 5 rebounds. So join me as we kind of rush through this thing. Give a round of applause for Jalen Brunson. Next up, who gets the egg of the bacon, egg, and cheese? Karl Anthony Towns. Anthony Towns gets the bacon egg, gets the egg of the bacon, egg, and cheese. I laugh at all of the media who talked about this Detroit Piston team and their physicality and Cade Cunningham and his talent and the New York Knicks. I don't know. I just think they're the underdog, and they continue to say Cade Cunningham is the best player on the floor. And they keep trying to do everything in their power to detract from New York as a team, as a city, and as talent. They try to do this all the time. And the only way you can do that with anybody, you're never going to fight the war of the words. You're never going to win the war of the words on the internet. You will never win that. You will barely win that in person. That's why I don't even engage. You just focus on doing what you do. Excellence, domination. This is what I do, and let them watch, because they got to talk about you when you win. That's the key. They gotta talk about you when you win. So if you ever wonder why people continue to keep your name in their mouths, negatively especially, then you know you gotta be winning. That's what's happening. Okay? And look, let them talk. You look at them and you tell them, enjoy the fucking show. Welcome to the effing show. Okay? And that's what this New York Knicks team is doing to the media and any of their detractors. Karl Anthony Towns is doing what we brought him here to do, to show up in spots when needed. Okay? To be that other star who can take that pressure off of Jalen Brunson and to provide a mismatch in any high level series. Okay? That is what he was brought here to do. And tonight, the man did his job by hitting a game winner against the Detroit Pistons. Karl Anthony Towns had an up and down, contribution in this game. But when he turned it on, the man turned it on. He went 5 of 6 from 3-point range. This is our center. This is our 4-man, vacillating between the 4 and the 5. This is what we brought him to do. I remember many years when people were just like, yeah, we need to bring in a player like Karl Anthony Towns to get rid of Mitch. I was just like, nah, man, we ain't getting rid of Mitch. But I understood why you guys wanted a stretch 5. I understood it. Many of you were trying to get Miles Turner. I didn't want that ninja, but that ninja be balling too. You know what I mean? So this is what you get it for. When you have a Porzingis in Boston, or Al Horford in Boston, you need a player like this. The New York Knicks looked at the competition and they shopped for the solutions. Okay, they looked at the main problem, they shot for the solutions. We are practicing. Okay, and this is it. Karl Anthony Towns showed up pretty big time, and he also was able to successfully navigate foul trouble. The man had four fouls early, and a lot of people were coming for Tom Thibodeau's neck when they was just like, I don't know why you left him in there. Listen, these are the decisions that you make. Sometimes it's a gamble. Okay, I'ma see how he could navigate this challenge, and he navigated it to perfection. Okay, and what I love about it is this is really Karl Anthony Towns' first introduction to the Eastern Conference. Karl Anthony Towns, you say what you will, he was giving Jokic work in the Western Conference. He was giving those teams work in the Western Conference. Now, some people will argue his performance in the playoffs, whatever have you, but you can't deny the time that he was in the Western Conference. He was an all-star. He was, a formidable big out there, and he was he was painting the record books in Minnesota. Okay, so this is his first go around in the Eastern Conference. And, I'm just happy that he is on our team. Now, I actually didn't want him on the team, but once again, you never know what a player is until you see them play night in and night out. And once again, this man has the goods, and it's great that he's playing against a personality. He's playing alongside a personality and a superstar like Jalen Brunson. That fit is a difference maker. So he doesn't have to do anything else but what Karl Anthony Towns does. He doesn't have to be anything else than who Karl Anthony Towns is. And I think that is the formula to success. What I absolutely love as my last point, as my last 2 points, is the edge that he's playing with as well. Karl Anthony Towns is making sure that the Detroit Pistons understand that there is a physical presence on the other side as well. Now, we all are clear that this game may look a lot more different if Beef Stew on their side was part of it as well. It definitely will be more physical. Offensively, they might take a hit as well, because just as much as he brings defense to that team, you got to have him when you have him on the floor, you're offensively lacking. Okay, but that's not our problem. Our concern is what's taking place in the orange and blue uniforms, and Karl Anthony Towns has made his presence felt offensively and physically. Okay, so with that being said, the last thing I absolutely love about it is the Detroit Pistons wanted to make sure that they had high profile people in representation in the stands today. And it was good. It was good to see some of the members of the Detroit Pistons like Isaiah Thomas and Chauncey Billups, Big Shot Billups in the house. It was great to see Patrick Ewing in the house. And once again, anytime Karl Anthony Towns has a game such as he has in front of Patrick, I love seeing it, man, because he looked at Patrick as one of the players that, he understood the importance of Patrick. He watched Patrick's game, and he shows respect to Patrick as well. But I remember when Karl Anthony Towns, before he even got here, he started talking about being the best shooting big man in the NBA. And I was like, this mother flipper is bugging. Cats need to really pull his tape up. But I'm looking at him play in person, and it was a follower who chimed in on my channel. He was just like, yo, bro, like, what are you talking about? And I was just like, what are you talking about? And I just got to admit, man, with every game, especially with every game that matters that he plays, he continues to push me more towards that side as well. So shout out to him. I know there's a lot more he has to prove in this league to be compared to a Hall of Famer like Patrick, but Karl Anthony Towns is on his way. So round of applause for the egg of the bacon, egg and cheese, Karl Anthony Towns. Next up, who is the cheese? Who's that final piece of the game that made this thing bussin'? And I'm going to give that to Josh Hart. Round of applause for Josh Hart, the heart and soul of our squad. Josh Hart just continues to be a stabilizing factor for us. 14 points, 4 steals, 5 assists, 10 rebounds. The man is constantly a blanket on the floor. He is all over the place. We can never underestimate that move to get a player like Josh Hart. He continues to show Hart he continues to forget that he is a guard in this league and stays amongst the trees. And he always puts pressure on the defense when he has the basketball, and he's always looking to make the right play. So with that being said, Josh Hart gets the cheese of the bacon, egg, and cheese here at Knicks Deli. Yes. Now, do me a favor, like this video if you feel what I'm saying. I'm trying to actually get this video in before the sun goes down and messes up my lighting. But like this video, subscribe, get notifications. I'm going to be actually dropping more videos while the playoffs are happening. It's a great time. I do be super busy, so that's why it's been a little bit inconsistent. I apologize. My subscribers are phenomenal. Stay with me. We're going to rock out. But so up next on the menu, who is the dollar slice of the game? Who is the dollar slice of the game? And the dollar slice is going to go to our guy, OG Defense Demon Anunoby. Round of applause for OG. Once again, people will look at this man's stat line and say 8 points, but 3 steals. Like, yo, shit, why are you giving him the dollar slice of the game? Listen, I'm telling you, the stabilizing factor, defensively, when you have two-way players, as the New York Knicks have, both in Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby, who are known, who have all the physical attributes to play defense, who have the mentality and the toughness to play defense, but also has the capability to score on offense. You got to realize it takes energy to do both, okay? But OG's assignment is to be as disruptive as possible for the best player on the opposite team. Now, some people may argue, if you look at the stat sheet and be like, well, how impactful was he? Cade Cunningham had the high-level triple-double. I think the man had like 25 points, 14 assists, 14 rebounds. Well, that man is that man on that side as well, okay? The most important piece is, can you disrupt enough for your team to get the victory? And that's exactly what OG Anunoby did. He continues to be consistent in his contributions on the defensive side. He is all over the place. He is consistently switching. He's so versatile and he's so disruptive on the floor. And this is why we give him the dollar slice of the game. Round of applause for the dollar slice, OG Anunoby. Yes. Now, who is going to get the chopped cheese of the game? Who gets the chopped cheese of the game here at Knicks Deli? And I got surprises for you, all right? I want you to stand up. I want you to walk into the bathroom, and I want you to put eyes in the mirror, because God damn it, the chopped cheese goes to Knicks fans. Yeah. The chopped cheese goes to you. Chopped cheese goes to you. I'm so proud, bro. You know what? Like, we're at the point now where, first and foremost, every other fan base knows that we are the fan base that everybody talks about. Everybody knows that we are the fan base. I don't care what them Lakers say. I don't care any other team that's won a championship. Nobody talks about their fan base like they talk about the New York Knicks fan base. So every time we come up in a series, just like every time there's a champion, there's a target on our back. But what I love, what I'm seeing, is there are New York Knicks fans in chat rooms of the ops. There are New York Knicks fans on Twitter not backing down. There are New York Knicks fans calling out Detroit fans, because Detroit fans are feeling themselves, like a teenager that you done raised, and they get a little bit of a bird chest, or they get some shoulders and they think that they can step to you as if you ain't got experience with this, as if this isn't what you do. Nah, son, nah. You ain't wildin' yet. That ain't the nah, son, nah, you wildin' part of the day. But Knicks fans continue to show what it is that we show. Remind these ninjas who it is that they're facing. You're not only facing the New York Knicks, but you facing New York, snitch. And this is what we do. So round of applause for you, the New York Knicks fans. Yeah, we on our stuff today. All right, so you can't have the dollar slice. You can't have the chopped cheese. You can't have the bacon, egg, and cheese if you ain't got anything to wash that thing down with. Here at Knicks Deli, we call that the quarter water of the game. All right, that's enough flex. Who gets the quarter water of the game? And the quarter water of the game goes to our guy, McCall Bridges. Round of applause for McCall Bridges. Once again, you're going to look at the box sheet after you missed the game for whatever reason you missed it. And you're going to be like, oh my God, McCall Bridges never shows up. He sucks. Why do we spend all those first round draft picks on this shit? The flip up. Okay? McCall Bridges had 2 timely 3-point shots for us in this game. With the level of talent we have on this team, you know, in the playoffs, you need to have big shot takers and big shot makers. That's all. We have 2 engines. We have Jalen Brunson. We have Karl Anthony Towns. Everybody in between needs to be willing and able to step up and take a shot and make a shot when needed. That's what's going to get us to the promised land. And that's exactly what McCall Bridges did. It doesn't matter if he had slumps. That's why you have other players to pick them up. That's why we continue to win games. Okay? So keep that in mind. McCall Bridges stepped up big time. 2 timely 3-pointers. His contribution, I think he also may have had 8 points, but still, he's going to be an important piece to our run in this playoff. So round of applause for our guy, McCall Bridges. Now, that's the good part of the menu, which is over. And if you're still with me, do me a favor, minimize the screen real quick and hit the like button. Support your boy. That like makes a difference. It makes a difference. It shows YouTube that you feel in the video. So it'll also post and send you some shorts when I post them, or some other links to videos that I've created that are also outstanding. So do me a favor and like that video. So you can't have the good part of the menu without the part of the menu. Now look, somebody has to get the glizzy of the game. Who is going to get the glizzy of the game? The glizzy of the game has to go to Stephen A. Smith. Hey, yo! This clown continues to acquiesce to his media friends. He continues to make a mockery of Knicks fans by posing as a Knicks fan, by allowing his Knicks fandom, allowing his Knicks fandom to be pimped by the network to get eyes on film, and to allow other fan bases to continue clowning us because they see him in the clown suit. Okay? And you always got to call it out, man. You know, when you don't watch the games and you don't see the character of the team, you don't see the nice, you only look at the score and you look at the highlight, and then you paste your perspective on how that game unfolded based on your experience when you were watching us night in and night out. So you still have that chicken little fear, or that fear that the sky is falling about the Knicks, when you have to know that we have a reputation for coming back, not to get nervous and not to bet against this team. And that man went on TV and was just like, I'm gonna have to go with the Detroit Pistons. Well, you know what? Go over to Detroit, stay there a little bit later, and glizzy they glizzy. Do that. F you, Stephen A. All right. Now, who gets the nah, son, nah? You wildin' moment of the game.
Nah, son, nah. You wildin'.
And we're going to get that to Detroit's coach. Bernie Bickerstaff is his dad. JB Bickerstaff. God damn, I'm old as hell. Look, we're going to give the nah, son, nah, you wildin' moment of the game to JB Bickerstaff. And I'm giving it to him particularly for his reaction on the final play of the game when he claims that Josh Hart fouled his player. And after the game, I'll also give that nah, son, nah, you wildin' to the referees, who also said that they watched the film and they realized that they missed that call and that he should have got the foul of the game. Well, you didn't. And well, the game is over. Okay. But JB Bickerstaff and the tantrum that he threw at the end of the game was funny to me, because they're known as a physical team. They're the ones leading the league in fights. They're the one leading the league in getting fouls called for them, not on them. Okay. And the first thing that they want to do is put the narrative out there that Jalen Brunson is foul hunting, that he's foul baiting, and that, if this is a physical series or whatever, this, that, and the third. So when you complain to the LeBron levels of ridiculousness and you don't get a call like that, I'm not surprised. And it's so funny that in the press conference, one of the reporters asked Jalen Brunson, how do you feel about the referees saying that they missed the call? He said, I'm not going to answer that, because basically he's been getting beat up all year. And Tom Thibodeau has been complaining all year that this dude is getting fouled. And somebody had the audacity, the unmitigated gall to be able to bring that question to Captain Crunch, to the Brundertaker. And he answered it appropriately. I'm not answering that. I'm not answering that question. Thank you. Okay? Or something along that line. I'm paraphrasing right now. But yeah, that coach gets the nah, son, nah, you wildin' moment of the game, as well as Knicks fans. You continue to talk about Tom Thibodeau if you want to. The same type of criticism we're giving Tom Thibodeau, Detroit fans are giving to JB Bickerstaff. Denver fans were given to Mike Malone. Every team has a problem with their coach. Okay? Every team. So yeah, nah, son, nah, you wildin' moment of the game goes to their coach. All right. And here are my parting thoughts before my phone runs out of energy. Detroit is young. So that, but you see how young they are because they're not good at closing. When that pressure starts to hit, that's the advantage. So this is why I tell a lot of people, it's just like, man, them boys are hungry. They're physical. They're good. I'm like, but they're young. And this spotlight is new to them. They'll be back and be better. But for this year, we need to rely on our veteranship and this experience. Also, for the refs, kick rocks, all right? Love these two quotes that I saw actually on X as well. Shimmy, shimmy on that mofo. You remember the dude on Detroit when he hit the three-pointer, he shimmy? Yeah, we needed to return some of that, okay? But we stand locked in and focused on closing this out. And first off, I'm just happy with the physicality that I see in the series and the fact that we are not falling for those tricks to bait us into being physical, to get us kicked out, so it turns the tide of this series. Knicks fans, we're in good position. We're exactly where we want to be. Bring it back to New York City. Let's show up and show out. And let's close this thing out. Keep this in mind. Same thing applies to life that applies to our team. There's no struggle. There's no progress. And remember this. Out there in the real world, here in these YouTube streets, here in Knicks Deli, everybody eats. I'm your boy Shia, and I'm out. Peace.